Blog Talk Radio.
You don't understand, see, you don't get it.
People don't understand, man.
I'm a free man, and I don't mean just out of jail. I am.
They just don't
free at
understand.
last.
Corey Jackson, man. More than you ever. How many more, man? My voice, my brother. We gotta get out of stop, man. We gotta get free.
I have
gotta put a stop to it. We gotta get free, man. Gotta get free. You can't keep doing this to us. This tale is ill. The autobiographic is real, so I share it from deep in my memory film. 11/40/35, inscribed on his khaki suit. I set a cross from my brother, trapped in a sterile room. Different families around, attempting to heal wounds. Conversation by the hour for dark souls to soothe. But this case is different. It tell of treacherous niggas. Cowards my brother trusted that became his false witness. Picture this, a small town, locale, a southern state, and that serves as the framework that outlines the case. A murder took place, victim of another race. She had status and spoke to governors face to face. More fuel for the flames of supremacy and hate that blacks will never escape without God's grace. On the court date, they brought him in shackled, he took the stand. Third black boy being charged for death by one hand. An argument in another state that wouldn't have a chance. But the Commonwealth of Kentucky is a southern land that still got problems with brothers from the motherland. They judge us not by character, but by skin. But in this case, it was one Negro here. They said similar to his in the car when she disappeared. Funny, how many blacks got similar hair? We unlucky. Evidence they use when they argue their trial, but never tested DNA and put it on file. It's all foul and wow. 50 years they gave him. Throughout trial, never showed his involvement with the slaying. Just hearsay from inmates and the main suspect.
You don't understand. You don't get it. I'm a free man, and I don't mean just out of jail. I am free at last.
Gotta get free, man. Be more substantial evidence, man. Testimonies from local bums in a segregated city is the evidence they use to convince the jury committee. But really, that's only the second level of injustice. The first level was the lie detector test they shuffled. The main suspect failed too. But detectives lied to the judge to get a warrant through. For who? You guessed it, my brother's name in the loop. The table now set for Southern hospitality soup, and they be cooking black boys by ones and groups. Straight out their youth, they stamp them by stretching the truth. But don't get it twisted, I hate anything that's corrupt. But when the government is guilty, tell me who can you trust? Now 14 of the 50 years my brother is done, and never had nothing to do with the death of the gun, but was violently prosecuted by a snake with a tongue. No wonder we burn with hatred like the rage of the sun.
Let me ensure that I am through walking on the wild. That's all I've been trying to tell you. I have been sick with the social ills.
It's the music of Rare Jewels featuring Clarity, and you can find them at www.myspace.com/Clarity 2020 Clarity. Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you and yours, wherever you are on the World Wide Web. You are listening to C.S.I. on the Men Empowered Radio Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network at blogtalkradio.com. My name is Brother Malachi. I am your host for another edition of C.S.I. Crime Scene Investigation right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. I want to take this time to apologize that we have been missing some shows. I know you've missed us because we have not been on the air for a few episodes, and I want to apologize personally to our faithful listening audience. We've had some hacking going on at the Blog Talk Radio Network, not the fault of the Men Empowered Radio Show, but seemed like some files were missing, some evidence of tampering going on, but we are back. Hopefully we will have all this thing out. Got an email from the Blog Talk Radio Network letting us know of the hacking that has been going on. So we've had this going on in this country and around the world. A lot of other espionage countries that have been doing some personal hacking, but hey, it's all good. We're going to move forward and continue to bring you the best of absolute knowledge and truth right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. And I wanted to go ahead. Some of our listeners have been asking, who are the Africans and who are we here in America? Because they did notice a difference between the two. And so I want to take this time to let you know that there are 4 groups of people belonging to Ham. That is Cush, Libya, Egypt, and Phut. And we're going to take some clips, and we're going to let the Gathering of Christ Church kind of explain to you a little bit of that. And we're going to open it up for questions and comments. If you have any questions or comments, we're going to just be here for an hour. Just wanted to go ahead and let you all know that we are here for the long run. We're doing some regrouping. There are a few men that are no longer with us, and that's okay. We're doing some regrouping, and the reason is there's a lot of things going on, and I want to just go ahead and say this. Some of you may not hear these people, these men, back on this broadcast ever again. When the truth prevails, some men just want to, when the truth comes out and their identity is being exposed to who they are when they associate themselves with this broadcast, do not wish to have their identity revealed because of pressure by their job, pressure by their loved ones maybe being threatened, or pressure by the government. Because if you're going to stand for the truth, you can't let nothing stand in your way, prevent you from getting the truth out there. So, like I said, what we do, we stand by what we put out. If we find that it is something that is that it is false reporting, we look at it, we investigate it, and we take further action far as correcting it. Whether or not that is to continue to produce the material and bring it out, or we correct it and put the updated version out. Sort of like the car manufacturer. If you find that there's a faulty piece that is on there that is incorrect, well, the auto manufacturer calls in for a recall to correct it. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to put correct information out here. How many of you all have seen the movie Jackie Robinson? Well, that's going to be my next commentary right here on WJMG Radio on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So if you are in the Pine Belt, Laurel, Hattiesburg, Mississippi listening area, you definitely want to check us out every Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time right here in Hattiesburg, Laurel, Mississippi. That's 92.1 WJMG FM radio right here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Okay. The first part of our lesson, we made it clear that we would soon teach the truth about Africa, concerning Africa. Why? There's a lot of groups out there erroneously teaching that if you're not from West Africa, you are from the seeds of Ham. So we have to straighten this out according to the Bible and according to geography and maps. Okay? Therefore, going forward, we hope that things can be corrected with brothers out there calling every person from Africa Hamites. They don't know when they do that, they fall into the Euro stereotype by stereotyping Hamites as black people when the father of Hamites were black. Adam was black. Eve was black. Okay? Noah was black. Someone say they don't look like we do. Okay. Oh, because they don't look like we do. All right. Okay. Brothers and sisters, we must get over this ignorant mindset. Let me make this clear. Your society dictates, and your economy dictates your outward appearance. If you're living in a civilized society in which you can care for yourself, of course, you're going to look more well kept, opposed to other people who are suffering. So you just can't look at something on face value and say, well, they don't look like us. Of course they don't look like us. They don't eat as well as we eat. They don't have running water like we have. They don't have the necessities we have. So of course they're going to look different because they're suffering. But when you look at those Africans that come into the Western world, and their children that have children over in the Western world, and they go into our schools, those children look just like us, because they're living in a different culture, in a different society. So you can't look at someone because they're looking real dark and their eyes are bloodshot or their eyes are yellow. Of course they're going to be looking deteriorated and hurt. They're being hurt by the Western world. Of course they're going to look different. But if they're in a place where they can eat good food and drink good water and take care of themselves and take care of their skin, of course there will be a different outward appearance. So we can't deal with that ignorance, the ignorance of saying, well, they don't look like us. We fall into the stereotypes of, because someone don't look exactly like us, or light skin, or lighter than certain people, or darker than other people, that they cannot be us. We fall into, don't forget, that's part of the Willie Lynch mentality or psychology. They want you out there, well, they're darker than us, so they can't be us. That's total ignorance. So what we're going to do is we're going to show something outside of ignorance. We're going to bring forth truth. Okay? And this truth, you'll be able to study yourself. And then you'll be able to go back to the other Israelites who are ignorantly calling, and I say ignorantly because they really don't know. They haven't been to Africa. Okay? So they really don't know. So that anyone outside of themselves must be Hamites, because they smell a certain type of way, or they, of course, their hygiene is not going to be what the Western world hygiene is. It's the Western world that's holding them down, making it where they can't get clean water, that they must bathe in sewage. So of course they're not going to smell like us. Total ignorance. Those brothers and sisters are suffering worse than us. And we perpetuate Jacob's trouble by turning our back on them and just saying, well, it doesn't matter, they're Hamites anyway. It's total ignorance. So, let's bring some information on this, okay? This is what I've taken my time to do. On your screen, I need you to read Ham out of the Bible Dictionary. Read that.
The Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
This is Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Okay, Zondervan so happened, if it mattered, so happened to be a Caucasian. He's a Jewish person. Okay, this was not a black person who came up with these particular words we're about to read. Okay? But I'm going to show you the trickery in his words. Read it.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood.
Read.
And one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark race.
He became the what?
The progenitor of the dark race.
See, that's the trickery right there. As if Ham's father wasn't dark. As if Ham's grandfather wasn't dark. He became the progenitor, which means father, of the dark races. See, that's what they teach in European theology. As if something happened, as if there was a change. He became the progenitor of the dark races, as if they were not dark beforehand. That's the trickery. Well, if Ham was dark, must not his father? Where would he get his darkness from? His father must have been dark too. Common sense. Why? There's no such thing as Caucasoid or Caucasian people having black children. That's just common sense. So he became the progenitor of the dark races, and he made a distinction. Read.
He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes. Now here's a problem. Shem is a dark race. Japheth is a dark race. So you have to look at the trickery in their words there. So he must be saying became the progenitor of the darker races, but not the Negroes. So that's a distinction. They're separating the Negroes who were brought over in cargo slave ships from the Hamitic Africans. Now, you have most Israelites who look at this and say, well, the dark races outside of the Negroes must be Ham. They have fell into the stereotype. Yes, we know we're not Hamites. But we're not going to be separated from the rest of our brothers and sisters over in Africa by this trickery placed in the Zion of Am Bible Dictionary. Because first and foremost, Ham's sons were who? Read.
The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood.
Read.
And one of the 8 persons to live through the flood.
Go ahead.
He became the progenitor of the dark race.
Of the dark races.
Not the Negroes.
Not, but who?
But the Egyptians.
Egyptians.
Ethiopians. Libyans. And Canaanites.
These are 4 families of Ham. So the question is, where were these 4 families located? That's the question. Okay, we're going to just try to do a little few things that we do in the academy, just to give you an understanding of what we bring forth during the academy. On your screen, there's a map. On that map is the 4 families of the earth after the flood, if you can see. In your orange, you see the families of Japheth. Yellow, the sons of Ham. Okay, you see that? And green, the descendants of Shem. Now, when you look in your yellow areas, this is all what? Look at the yellow. These are all the sons of Ham. Look at them. And as you can see, these people predominantly lived in northern Africa amongst their brother. And their brother is not too far away. Look. So these people were not too far away. A matter of fact, in some instances, Ham was linked in with Shem and Japheth in certain areas. If you look at this, this is where the original Hamites went. And not one of these people, as we see right here on this map here, originally they were not in West Africa, they was not in South Africa, they were not in East Africa, they were predominantly in North Africa. Some people say, and they say without any research, that Canaanites are South Africans. That is incorrect. There's no history in the Bible, the Josephus, or any history we've run into to show the Canaanites going into South Africa. That is a untruth. Let's put it that way. It's not true. It's unfounded. Here are the areas in yellow, as you can see, which is predominantly North Africa. Now, right after that, there's a map of Africa. I want you to look at that. And on your map of Africa, as you can see, look at this clearly, this is from Google Maps, at your top north is where all the sons of Ham were, the top of Sudan, up here in these areas there, down in parts of Ethiopia. That's where the original sons of Ham was. Now look at all that landmass under the top or north of Africa, downward. Look at all that, even Madagascar to your right. Look at all that which is part of Africa. You're going to find everything south of Africa is where the children of Israel ran into after 70 AD and migrated into this big landmass you see south of Africa. If you look at your top right on your screen, you'll see to your top right, you'll see right there, you got the Red Sea right there, you got Saudi Arabia up there to your top right. Africa bordered all those areas. When you go a little north, Egypt is up there also. These are the families of Ham in North Africa. Every other area down here was called the wilderness, in which the children of Israel, when you look south of this, the children of Israel fled into these particular areas, and South Africa is at the very tip or bottom. These are where the children of Israel ran into. See, most brothers and sisters, the only thing they would need to do before they would ignorantly make statements is to get a map and look at the map and look at history books. There's a book we have called Hebrewism in West Africa. Now, even though it says Hebrewism in West Africa, it also shows lands outside of West Africa in which the children of Israel settled. Okay? Also, there's parts of North Africa that Israel settled in, and named those particular land masses, like Kenya. You can read that in the book From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. So again, let's stop using reverse racism and ignorantly calling brothers Ham just because they're not from the lands you are in. Okay? They have as much right to the Israelite heritage as the children of Israel who went into captivity in America and other parts of the earth. They are suffering right now, and the nations are targeting them not because they're Ham. Okay? They're being targeted because they are the children of Israel. That's why they're being targeted. And they're going through Jacob's trouble. And the Most High will save them. The eugenics program, they have overcome the AIDS lie. They wasn't aiming that towards Hamites. Okay? They have overcome all the destruction. Right now, they're beheading our people in Libya, which is North Africa, yes, because our people have to go into Libya to work. Why? They cannot reap the benefits in their own homeland. So they must leave their land to get money. And Libya was the jewel of Africa. It was the place in which Africans could go and actually have some similitude of life outside of trying to get into America. But now that's been taken away. And you can't downplay that by saying, well, they're just Hamites. Because guess what? Soon what's happening to them will be happening to you, to do-good Negroes all over the earth, including America. So don't think you're going to escape anything because you're not going through it now. Okay? Jacob's trouble will hit us all. Okay? And a lot of those brothers over there that are used to suffering is going to show us how to get through suffering. Because we're too comfortable to know what to do when there's no supermarkets, when there's nothing, when someone is not driving your food up to you and serving you like, like a little kid, like a child, eating out of your master's hands. Soon your trucks are not going to be driving up to your stores to give you food. And it's the poor of the people that's going to show each of us how to survive. Therefore, let's stop ignorantly calling brothers Hamites just to dismiss them and feed into the stereotype and hate our own people. It's ignorant, and it has nothing to do with truth. Get a map, and the map will give you the understanding on what you should be teaching correctly. Okay? So every location outside of North Africa belonged to the children of Israel. Period. Why? Because that land under North Africa was not allotted to Ham, Shem, or Japheth. I gave you the map. You've seen it with your own eyes. Now, if you believe that Canaanites went from the land of Israel, which is North Africa, attached to Africa up north, and went all the way South Africa to the bottom of Africa without any proof, something is seriously wrong with your vocation. Okay? And someone says, so how do you decipher the difference between the two? Well, if you ever go into Africa, you'll know that most of the Hamitic races have straight hair. They have more stringy hair, close to Arab hair. Yeah, they're dark like Nubians, similar to Haile Selassie, who's an Ethiopian. Okay? They don't have the kinky hair. They dark-skinned, but even the Egyptians, the Nubians, I've met them. They're dark-skinned, but they have the straight hair. So usually that's one way you can decipher it to some degree. But still, there's been so much race mixing in those areas, you can't even go through that. You can't even use that to decipher to some degree. But that's one thing we know for sure, that the Hamitic races of Ham, like the Ethiopians and all that, they didn't have the coarse hair like the tribes of Judah and Levi. Okay? So all of South Africa, all of South Africa is the children of Israel, every last one of them. All of them. There's no Hamites in South Africa. Okay? And again, we shouldn't strive in genealogy, but I'm just bringing forth some understanding. That's true. You still can't go by the hair, because there's Israelites with straight hair. So we can't get caught up into that either. No, there's no straight hair from Edomites that corresponds with Hamitic races. I mean, no. Because Edomites aren't the only people with straight hair. You got Japheth, they got straight hair. So to say, and you have Israel. Look at the North American Indians. Okay? You have to realize that Jacob had different wives from different areas. So their children took on some attributes of their mother. So you really can't get in that either. So we can't strive in genealogies, but what I was trying to pinpoint and trying to really focus on is how some Israelites are focusing on Africans and looking at them and saying that they are Hamites and dismissing them and laughing at their plight and laughing at what's going on against them. And that's not right. So I wanted to straighten that out. You can't look at somebody and say, well, they're Ham. That's absolutely wrong. With no historical proof or biblical proof. That is wrong. Okay? So I'm glad we were able to straighten that out. Okay?
Well, for the last 20 minutes, you've just heard Elder Ricochet of the Gathering of Christ Church explain about Ham. and the difference between Ham and Shem. We're going to take a quick music break, and we're going to open the phone lines up right here on the Men Empowered Radio Show, C.S.I, Crime Scene Investigation. The number to call is 347-205-9279 is our number. Got about 23 minutes left, so the phone lines are open for you to give us a call right here. We're going to be right back. We're going to hear from Richard Shepard Jr. on C.S.I, What If?
I'm waiting in the shadow. It's you I follow. It could be tonight when you saw the light. You were mine. I'm waiting for the word go. I'm waiting at the front door. So be prepared when your number's called. I'll be there. You can't stop the clock. There's no slowing down. When I call for you. You're out of time. You can't stop it now. We're running out of time. When he calls, his head with you. We're ticking down. Tick tock. It's been a long time since we prayed. I feel you there, but I'm not scared. No, I'm not peeking out my window. No, I know there's nowhere to go, but I will not run, 'cause I'm waiting for no one. You can't stop the clock. There's no slowing down. When I call for you. You're out of time. No, when you're time. You can't stop it now. We're running out of time. No one when you call, get you. Ticking down. It's ticking down.
Richard Shepard Jr. right here on the C.S.I. Crime Scene Investigation. We've had a discussion by the GOCC on the making, well, not the making. Who is Ham? How can you identify Ham versus the descendants of Shem? So you just had an explanation of that from the Gathering of Christ Church. For more information on them, you can go to www.gatheringofchristchurch.org. And for more information, they are here at Blog Talk Radio 5 nights a week. All you got to do is punch in on Blog Talk Radio GOCC. Well, I'm just about out of time, got about 15 minutes left. Let me give you a couple of clips about the dark history of Israelite. Did you know that we had a presence in Europe? Yes, that's right. We had a presence in Europe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a few clips by Elder Lawyer, and we're going to look at the rich, dark history of Israel in Europe. It's going to probably take up a little bit of time, so therefore we do not have any questions or comment. I see quite a few people here are listening via phone, and the number to call is 347-205-9279, and we're going to play maybe one or two clips before our time expires, and we're also going to be back on Thursday night for Let's Talk right here, brought to you by the Men Empowered Radio Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network. So let's go ahead and go into Israel's rich, dark history.
Okay, yeah, shalom everyone. We apologize for the tardiness. We had a few problems with the internet here. But tonight we're going to be going into a lesson dealing with basically showing the different history of blacks or the Israelites through different points of time in history. So tonight's lesson is going to be called The Israelites in Antiquity, and we're going to also be going through a little bit of history of the Israelites and their rulership in Europe. And the reason I wanted to go into this is because when we go into the Bible and different information, a lot of people tend to say that the Bible is the white man's book and things of that nature, and that, you know, because it's the white man's book, it's no need for us to go into the Bible. Or you have situations like in our learning institutions, when we go to school in these different institutions and learn about history, we learn that all the great men who ever stepped foot in Europe, or all the great men that are written of in the Bible, are people of European descent. And we want to show that according to history itself, that's contrary. So what we want to first do is we want to go into the Bible. For those who may be a little new to the Bible, we want to go into the Bible and show you different scriptures and information to let you know that the people of the Bible, the great people that you read of in the Bible, Moses, Aaron, the prophets, the disciples, Christ himself, were all men of color. We're also going to go into a little bit of European history and different history of the world to show you that some of the greatest men who ever stepped foot in the land of Europe were men of color, were Israelites. We're going to start off in the Bible. We're going to we're in Genesis chapter 1. We're in Genesis, the first chapter. We in Genesis chapter 1, and when we at verse 26. Read that.
The book of Genesis. And the Most High said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Read it again.
Genesis 1 and 26. And the Most High said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness.
So it says, and the Most High said, or and the Allahayim said. So the question is, if the men that the Most High created are men of color, in which we're going to show you, what does that say about the Most High and what's going on in the heavens with the angels and as far as the heavenly realm? We're going to show that without a shadow of a doubt that Adam, the prophets, Moses, Aaron, the disciples, Christ, were all men of color. So if these were men of color, then what does that say about the Most High himself, if he said that he's going to make man within his image? Let's get Genesis chapter.
Genesis 2 and 7. And the Lord power formed man of the dust of the ground.
And it says, the Most High formed man of the dust of the ground. The question is, what is the color of the dust of the ground? Let's get Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2 to show you the color of the dust of the ground. We in Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Read.
Jeremiah 14 and 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground.
Read that again.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
So it says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. Read on.
They are black unto the ground.
And it says they are black unto the ground. So not only is this showing that the children of Judah are black unto the ground, that they're dark skinned, it's also letting you know the color of the ground or the color of the earth. In the Hebrew, it's Qudar wa la'aratizah, which means black unto the ground or black unto the earth. So when you read Genesis chapter 2, verse 2 and 7, when it says that the Most High made man of the dust of the ground or the dust of the earth, is letting you know that the dust of the ground is black, is dark. Let's go back to Genesis.
Genesis 2 and 7. And the Lord power formed man of the dust of the ground.
So it says the Most High formed man of the dust of the ground. Now remember, we just read in Genesis chapter 1 and 26, where it says that the Most High made man in his image and in his likeness. So if the Most High made man in his image and in his likeness, about the Most High, how it looks if he created man out of the black dust of the ground. To let you know that the Most High himself is a man of color. The angels are of color. Let's get Genesis chapter 42 and 8. We're in Genesis chapter 42 and 8, going into Joseph, and I want to skim through these real quick because I know you've probably heard these scriptures over 100 times, so I want to try to skip through these, or rush through them so we can kind of get a basis. This is basically for those who are probably kind of new to the understanding, who might be viewing us, but we have people who've been, who might have seen these scriptures over 100 times, so we want to kind of try to skim through it. So we're in Genesis chapter 42, verse 8.
Genesis 42 and 8. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him.
So it says Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. We understand that at this point in time, Joseph became a ruler within the land of Egypt. So his brother came to visit him, and it says that Joseph knew his brethren. So Joseph was able to recognize his brethren, but yet his brethren was not able to recognize him. Let you know that Joseph was a man of color because he was amongst the Egyptians, who are also people of color. Let's get Genesis 45 and 4.
Genesis chapter 45, verse 4. Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt.
Read that again.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt.
So once again, it's showing you that Joseph was able to recognize his brother, but yet his brethren was not able to recognize him. So Joseph had to reveal himself unto his brethren, and when you read earlier in the book of Genesis, it lets you know that Joseph, after he became ruler of Egypt, or after he became powerful in the Pharaoh of Egypt, he put on Egyptian raiment and he put on Egyptian garments, and basically looked like he was an Egyptian. He blended in with the Egyptians. So the surprise when his brothers came to him and told him that they wasn't able to recognize him because he looked different. So Joseph had to reveal himself unto his brethren to let him know that, to let his brother know that he was one of them, that he was their brother. He sold him to captivity. Now Joseph was white like it's portrayed throughout history. If he was white, or if the Israelites were white, then they could have easily came into the land of Egypt, which is full of black people, and been able to point out to their brother that he was white. But yet it's not so. during the show that he was one of them, that he was the same brother that they sold into Egypt. Let's get Exodus chapter 2. And before you go, let's get we have a book called Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers. And this goes into a lot of history of blacks in Europe and blacks in different places throughout the earth other than Africa, because in history it's portrayed that only blacks can be found in Africa. But we can look today and see that that's not true at all. You can find blacks in Europe, you can find blacks in America, you can find blacks in Asia, you can find blacks all over the earth. But yet they'll tell you that blacks only exist in Africa. So this book goes into a lot of history of the blacks throughout the earth. And I want to read something real quick on the Egyptians in case anybody may be viewing who may not understand that the Egyptians are people of color. Because even today,
it's going to do it on this particular segment. We're going to pick back up on that of part 2, probably tomorrow on Let's Talk. Phone lines are now just about getting ready to close. Since we have no comments, we have no questions, we're going to go ahead and end the show, and we'll pick right back up here on tomorrow night on Let's Talk Show with yours truly, Brother Malachi. Don't forget the commentary on WJMG Radio, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, right here on FM 92.1, and we will play that commentary on the air tomorrow on our Let's Talk show. I got a real good one for you. We're going to talk about the Jackie Robinson story that is now playing on the theaters, number 42. So you definitely want to check that out. So until tomorrow night, I am Brother Malachi for the Men-Powered Organization here on the Blog Talk Radio. Shalom.
I know who you are. Yeah, I say I know who you are. Yeah, come on. We stiff-necked, we wild, we on the corner, wildin' out. We ignorant, we proud, we belly us.
I know who you are, boy, you need some help. Open your mind and free yourself. Truth and knowledge overpowers wealth. Put education on the shelf and take a second look and see which route you took. You fall in love with a bunch of crooks and forget you're the children of that book. To the enemies they told you, made you believe anything they told you, and left you with two decisions: either choose death or choose religion. But you fell off Jacob's ladder and chose to listen to the master. Got caught in the devil's rapture, now your life is a whole disaster.
Yeah, I said I know who you are. I know who you are, and I know where you're going. We stiff-necked, we wild, we on the corner, wildin' out. We ignorant, we proud, we belly us.
We're the only ones can't see it. Got the truth but don't believe it. Cursed with being disobedient. The days enslaved in Egypt. Then Moses said, let my people go. Still we act like we ain't know who was our father. We didn't even bother to listen. And not to mention we blatantly worship others. We went from one to another. We threw stones at our brothers. When they was trying to just bring us back to the truth, there's nothing wrong with that. Like Stephanos in the book of Acts. And all he did was take it back.
Yeah, I said I know who you are. I know who you are, and I know where you're going. We stiff-necked, we wild, we on the corner, wildin' out. We ignorant, we proud. rebellious.
I know the keepers of the law were standing tall, staying righteous above them all. What's the call, coach? The other teams filled with many men and small souls, cause they don't know the identity, but I do, so they envy me. Cause you're a nation of people that's so rebellious, accusers of your brother. When he speaks the truth, you get jealous. But I stay one accord with all my righteous fellas, cause we know who we are, there's nothing else that you can tell us. Nothing.
Yeah, I said, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I know where you're going. Yeah, I said, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I know where you're we wild, we on the corner, wildin' out, we ignorant, we proud, rebellious. I strive to be like them, we try, our own culture we deny, so unaware, we blind, we searching for a sign. I know who you are. 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 Who you are. I know who you are. I know who you are.